Hello and welcome to Killer Off-Road Hobbies, everybody. My name is Gary, and today we're taking a look at the ZD Racing 9116 V3 1/8 scale 4x4 monster truck, also known as the Pirates 2 MT8 V3. So this, I'm guessing, is the version 3. I know there are two versions other than this, so of course this is V3. Come on, everybody. Alrighty, so let's go to the boring stuff first. Right here is what you get in the box as far as paperwork wise. You get a leaflet telling you about the transmitter. You get some M3 tape in here, which will come in handy, and I'll show you why later. These, I believe, are servo ends. You put this on the end of your servo, and then you put the little servo arm on top of this. Basically, it's a incisor. It makes the end of the servo bigger, I guess. Yeah, don't ask me why they do that. You do get two zip ties. Thank you very much, ZD Racing. And this owner's manual is absolutely excellent. This has like all the information you would need on this truck. It has part numbers and everything, and it literally has blow-ups of everything on this truck, and shows you like how it goes together and everything. Absolutely awesome owner's manual. ZD Racing, you guys did very, very, very good on this. Alrighty, so moving on to the truck. So like I said, this is basically the ZD Racing Pirates 2. It is a number because it's from China, so it's the 9116 V3. And this thing is classified as a 1/8 scale, kind of like MT8 1/8 scale. It does say it right there. It does say it's ready to run, and it does say it's 4-wheel drive. Thank you guys for showing us all that. Let's hop to the transmitter real quick. As far as transmitters go for ready to runs, I think this is actually pretty cool. We're gonna have to see how it works out, but it does have your normal reverse switches up here. The cool thing about this is it's a gamble because they're not labeled. So I'm not sure which side is steering trim or throttle, whatever, but they do have trims for both, and they have dual rates for both. So you can trim up and down your throttle, whichever one it is, and your steering, as well as it's got your trim selections as well. You can run a LiPo battery in here. Here's the little charging port thing, but you do run this thing on 4 AA's if you don't have one of those packs. And the cool thing about this thing is that it is 4 channels. Check that out. So it's got your normal 2 channels, yay, yay, and then it's got a 3rd channel button and a 4 channel button. Off on the switch is kind of cool too, and I like that little flip up. And look at that, nice blue LED. 2.4 gigahertz. I do think this is pretty cool. It fits well in my hand, at least. I know most normal people hold their transmitters like this. I don't. I hold mine like this because I'm weird. Yeah. So I think this is going to do well as long as we don't have any signal issues or range issues, which I don't foresee that happening. Pretty much the 2.4 gigahertz transmitters you get nowadays are pretty decent, regardless of who they come from. Alrighty, so let's move on to the truck. Does the truck look good? I think it looks pretty okay. It's not too shabby. Not a huge fan of the body colors, the yellow, light gray, dark gray, black. I mean, it's not a horrible looking truck. The body feels like it might take a crash or two. We'll have to see. I'm always kind of off about the bodies because, like, I feel bodies and I'm like, oh man, this will take a hit, and then it cracks right away. And then I feel a body and I'm like, man, this thing is not going to last at all, and it ends up lasting the entire testing of the vehicle. So we'll have to see how this body does. It doesn't look bad. It's kind of reminiscent of like a early 2000s Ford look, kind of. At least it's not another Raptor type body. I mean, I do think the Raptors look cool, but yeah, that's kind of played out now with almost everything having a Raptor style body in the RC world nowadays. So I'm glad that they went with a different look. It still looks kind of like a Ford or whatever, but I have no bias against Ford. I guess it looks okay. I don't know. To each their own. All right, let's get to the truck. Wow, I am seeing a lot of aluminum. These trucks do tend to come with a lot of aluminum, and look at that. Oh, the ESC is all nice and loose for us. No joke, everybody. That has happened on every vehicle that I've got from either Banggood or GearBest. That has literally happened on every one of them. The ESC is basically come loose during the shipping process. so be ready for that. And I'm guessing that's why they give you the M3 tape. All right. Now, this thing comes with a 1800 kV 4068 brushless motor, which is this orange bad boy right here. That seems kind of like a lower kV. I'm interested to see why they went with such a low kV and a 1/8 scale, but we'll see. You know, gearing is pretty much everything, so we'll have to see how it does speed wise and everything. And this does look like a Ghoul RC setup, the ESC and motor, but this is the 120 amp ESC. Now this does come in several variations. You can even get a kit version of this truck that doesn't come with any electronics. This one is the higher grade one with the 120 amp ESC. It comes with an 80 amp ESC, other ones do. So basically you'll just kind of have to figure out how much money you want to spend and all that stuff. It does have a center diff setup, so it's got 3 diffs going on, and the spur gear is steel, which is very nice. It's got a 9 kg steering servo down under here, and like I said, it does have a lot of aluminum, adjustable turnbuckles, and it's adjustable up here. Wow, that's nice and loose. We're gonna have to go through the hardware on this guy for sure. The shocks are aluminum bodied and capped, and they are threaded, which is very nice. The body mounts are plastic. The plastic feels flexible but may last a little bit. But the shock towers are aluminum. Now, just because they're aluminum doesn't mean they're any good. We will test that out, I'm guessing, very, very soon, probably on my first couple wrecks. But just because it has aluminum shock towers does not mean it's good. I've gotten several RCs that the aluminum is very, very horrible. I would have preferred plastic. But you have aluminum hinge pin holders. So the story in the rear is the same. You've got aluminum shock towers, plastic body mounts, and the shocks, while being bigger, are aluminum bodied and capped, and they are threaded. This does have an aluminum plate chassis. You know, basically it does look to be about 3 millimeters thick. All the hardware is recessed inside the chassis, which is very, very nice. All in all, this thing does not look bad at all. The tires feel nice and pliable. They are kind of soft, and man, that's a lot of wiggle. It does run 17 millimeter hexes, which is pretty standard. And let's check it out. We do have CVDs in the front with aluminum knuckles, very, very nice. And then we have standard dog bones in the rear. The drive shafts are pretty small though. They look to be about, I don't know, maybe 5 millimeters. So other than that, it does have a servo saver here. Here's your receiver box up on top. I would question the the waterproofness of this for sure. It looks like it just pops off. Yes, this is not waterproof at all, people. So yeah, even though the ESC might be waterproof, I would be very, very hesitant to take this thing through water, any water, because that is like the holes for the wires and everything. Oh well, whatever. The battery tray doesn't look very generous either. We'll have to see how well my packs fit in here. But this thing is 2 through 4S capable. So we'll have to see how that goes, how this thing holds up. You do have a lot of adjustability. There's turnbuckles, front and rear. So you can adjust your camber and toe on both sides. It does have track bars, front and rear, even though they are insanely loose. Jesus Christ. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say already is definitely if you get one of these things, since apparently they have insanely horrible quality control, is just you're going to have to put a wrench on every one of the bolts on this thing and just make sure everything's tight. And I'm going to go as far as to pull everything out that's into aluminum, thread lock it. I'll tape down this ESC. And yeah, so basically I'm going to do the company's job as far as quality control wise, and go ahead and make sure this thing is actually ready to go out. Okay, so this thing, as I said, is a 1/8 scale, so it's going to come in at 19 inches long. It's 15 inches wide, and it is 9 inches tall. So that's going to put it on the small side of an 8 scale, and being 4S capable is on the bottom end of 8 scale as well. But this thing to my door was $229.99. Now, like I said, there are versions that cost a little bit more than this. There are versions that cost significantly less than this. It's all about what you want to do. And if you're interested in one of these, you can go to Banggood.com or probably eBay or Amazon. This is not a sponsored rig for me. I bought this with my own money, so I'm not trying to throw them a bone. I'm just telling you where you can get these. Other than that, it doesn't come with any tools or anything like that. So, you know, hopefully you have your own tools if you decide to pick one of these up. I haven't done a whole lot of research on these trucks. This is kind of a series type thing that I will get into at a later date of what I'm doing with this truck and a couple other trucks that I do want to test eventually. But I'm just kind of excited to get this thing out and see what it's capable of. I do want to mention right now that it took forever to get this thing. I ordered this thing in the beginning of September, and while I did get this a couple weeks ago and was waiting for another review to be done, this thing took a long time. I mean, as of the time of this video, it's mid-December. So from the beginning of September till the beginning of December, I got this right around the 1st of December, I think. So it took quite a while. Now you can pay for upgraded shipping, of course, but I went the standard shipping route, and it took a long time, like so long that I thought this thing got lost in the mail, and I actually asked Banggood for a refund. Like I thought I was going to have to pull a Walt Disney and cryogenically freeze myself to make it till this thing actually showed up. But it's here now. I'm excited to test it. And you know, this is just raw footage, so you guys saw all the little flaws this thing came with out of the box, but we'll go ahead and get all the hardware tightened down and get it taken out and on the first bash. So I am gonna bash this thing on 2S, 3S, and 4S. The 2S, I know not a lot of people are going to be excited to see, but I will do a 2 and 3S video of this truck in the same session. That way you guys don't have to sit through like an entire 2S video type thing. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Please thumb up this video if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you're new here. Click that bell, and we will see you on the next video. Until then, peace.